everyone, and welcome back to Seelin Plays Gyakuten Live. We're finally starting the trial for this crime, quote unquote. Thank God, because it took so long to get here. But anyway, May 14th, 2:03 p.m., the courtroom. Court is now in session for the trial of Asaka Karin. The defense is ready. Ready? Huh? Pardon me, what I meant to say was... The prosecution is most certainly ready, Your Honor. Very good, let's begin. So, in case you didn't know, I was called in on rather short notice by one Yuki Setsuna. Unfortunately, I didn't have a ton of time to review the facts. How dare she? I'll crucify her. Damn, Daya, relax. I did my best to skim through the facts, but please correct me on anything I may be misinformed on. In any case, it's now time for the prosecution to present his opening statement. Of course, right away, Your Honor. You know, I think this is the first time that Daya-san is calling the judge Your Honor. I think I see what's going on here. Must be a fan of Ellie-san's. When the trial concluded yesterday, the issue that we were hung up on was the fact that Miyashita Ai-san was apparently attempting to prevent Yuki Setsuna-san from testifying. Her motive for doing so is still unknown, but it is currently irrelevant. I have Yuki Setsuna-san lined up and ready to testify at a moment's notice. Today, the prosecution aims to prove that neither Yuki Setsuna-san nor her two friends ever headed towards the printing room on the day of the crime. Wow, Daya-san's opening statement was only 3 text boxes long this time. Maybe Ellie-san's presence is keeping her reined in. Sounds good. Let's bring in the witness. Yes, Your Honor. I hope I remember everything because it's been a little while. But anyway, your witness, name and occupation. Yuki Setsuna here to raise up the roof and lay down the law. Ellie-san, glad to see you made it on time. Oh, that's right. So you're the one who invited me over here. Ellie, you don't look too impressed. Are you okay? Or do you not want to be here? Although, then again, I probably don't want to be here in a courtroom either. Let's be honest. Anyway, the trip didn't take that long for me. It's fortunate that our schools are rather close to each other. Wait, really? Is this true? That's good to know. But mine is not, so quit wasting time. The trip home will take quite a while, so hurry up and get on with your testimony so I can flatten the defense for good. Alright, hang on. My occupation. By day, I'm just an ordinary student like all of you, but in the afternoon, I'm a full crime-stopping, justice-slinging witness, and I'm going to save the world with facts and logic. Revetting, you were called on to testify about your motions around the time of the crime, as it was established that Miyashita Ai-san could not legally speak on your behalf. Now, recall the events from the beginning of the breakup until it begins coinciding with Miyashita Ai-san's testimonies yesterday. Yes, it's my time to shine yet again. Witness testimony, my account of things. I have no idea exactly when this happened, but a few minutes into break, Ai-san asked me to go to the restroom with her. We stopped in the halls for a while so Ai-san could make that call to Shiriko-san. Remember that from yesterday? It was at 4:11 p.m. I was with her the whole time, so don't worry about her running off. She may be fast, but her speed is no match for the long arm of justice. Rino-san came to the restroom a little after we did. Must have wanted to tag along after seeing us go together. This is quite the odd case, but you're saying that none of you went to the printing room, so the crime couldn't have been committed by any of you 3. Exactly. None of us ever made the detour to the printing room, so that means it could only have been Karin-san. What do you think, Yu-chan? Should we bring up the white diamond yet? Not yet. The white diamond is my trump card. I need to try to get Ai-chan on the stand first. But before that, I need to prove that Ai-chan had the opportunity to go to the printing room. You're right. Even if we assume the 411 entry on the camera records is the true culprit leaving the scene of the crime, it would mean nothing if none of the 3 had a chance to go to the printing room. Alright, let's see if I can find any openings in the Warrior of Justice's testimony. I'm gonna be struggling because It's been a little while. Setsuna-chan seems confident in her testimony. I don't think she'd lie about this stuff either. Regardless, she might still be mistaken about what really happened. We'll just have to look carefully. Setsuna-chan seems to be saying that all three of them left the practice room at 4:11. I need to look for a way to show that it isn't true. Perhaps I should try pressing her to see if she comes up with any new info. I don't see her being deliberately dishonest about anything, right? So, press on, this? Yesterday, Ai-chan had said that you showed up after she had finished her call, so that was a falsehood. Yeah, actually, I was there while she made the call. She told the truth about the call, though. She was apparently talking to Shioriko-chan for a bit about buying something from Akihabara. So, you just stood there and listened while Ai-chan made the call? Basically, it was kind of awkward. Something feels missing here. Should I press harder? I don't want to jinx myself though, but I guess so. Did anything interesting happen during the call? Not really, I just stood around spinning in circles.
Bruh.
Spinning in circles? Yeah, I've been trying to perfect my new move, Setsuna Ultra Twirling Twister of Fiery Passionate Justice. That is a very long title, you need to shorten that, Setsuna. Unfortunately, the move makes me dizzy, so I've been training to spin for long periods of time without getting nauseous. I could never. And you didn't see or hear anything out of place during that interval? Please, a warrior of justice has to have the eyes of an eagle and the ears of a bat to watch out for evildoers. If I saw or heard anything along those hallways, surely I would have noticed. The hallways are spacious with hard floors and walls. You'd easily hear anyone else who was walking through it. But the witness didn't see or hear anyone else. Since this happened at 4:11 p.m., that lines up with the narrative that the defendant was at the printing room while the witness was in the halls. Setsuna-chan didn't see anything. That doesn't sound right somehow. Witness, please add this to your testimony. Alright, now we're talking. I guess we press this, I don't know. Are you absolutely sure about that? What? Now you're making me think I'm going nuts. Look, from what I remember, there was nothing and nobody out of place. Patrol success, evil wouldn't dare to show up on my watch. No offense, but I don't think you had anything to do with it. Okay, what am I supposed to do?
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
I think just to be safe, let's press all of them. From her testimony yesterday, Ai-chan didn't seem to indicate that she was the one who asked you to go with her. Rather, it seemed more like she was implying that you left and joined her on your own accord. I know, right? But the reality of the situation is that she had asked me to go with her. And that's why I ended up using the paper towel from the restroom instead of the practice room. Makes perfect sense. So that explains why you had left the practice room at all that day, meaning that there is no reason to suspect the witness. The sole remaining suspect is still the defendant, Asaka Karin-san. It's the same thing Setsuna-chan told me yesterday during investigation. Guess there's nothing out of place here. And Ai-chan didn't do anything worth noting? Not at all. Ai-san is the righteous citizen. She wouldn't have run away from me in any universe. And don't worry, she didn't fake the call or anything. I heard the ringtone sound coming from her phone. Durr. One more thing. Yesterday, Ai-chan and Shioriko-chan said that the call took about a minute. Is this true? I think so. Maybe a little more and maybe a little less. So essentially, we currently have no reason to doubt the previous witness's testimony. That'll do, witness. Continue. And then last statement, the press. How much time is a little time? I don't know. A lot.
Bruh.
Huh? Is it a little or a lot? I don't know, okay? But it felt like maybe 2 minutes. If I may interject, I think I have an explanation. Yesterday, a photo was presented during trial. It showed that the defense's aide is holding a white cat. To my knowledge, this cat belongs to Tennoji Rina-san. Is that correct? Yes, Hanpan is Rina-chan's cat. When the cat entered, you must have looked for Tennoji Rina-san to inform her of the presence of her puny yet ferocious friend, correct? We did, but she wasn't in the room. So, simply put, Tennoji Rina-san must have left the room between 4:10 and 4:12, after Miyashita Ai-san and Yuki Setsuna-san left, but before Hanpen-san entered the practice room. You're welcome for the answer. Given the info we have now, I suppose that all makes sense. Okay, let's see. We have to present something, cause I pressed every single statement. Camera records? Music stopped, so this must be good. Witness, are you absolutely sure you didn't see anyone else in the hallways around the time of the crime? What gives? I said I'm sure no one showed up during our time in the hallway. I would never lie about it. Who do you think I am? Don't worry, I trust you. However, that doesn't change the fact that I think that what you're saying is not true. Yesterday, Karin-san told me something interesting. The first time she had left the club room on the day of the crime, she didn't go directly to the printing room. Instead, she had taken a lengthy detour around the entire hallway. A fantastical story, to be sure. But how do you know that she isn't just fabricating that story? Do you have any evidence? As a matter of fact, I do. Here are the records for the security camera above the entrance of the club room. Please read the fourth entry in the records. It said that Karin-san passed the club room at 4:14 p.m. moving northbound. This was when she was supposedly in the printing room. Notice how the entry specifies that she was moving northbound. Since the printing room is north of the camera, this means that she was headed towards the printing room, not away from it. That's right, Karin-san was heading around the hallways, counterclockwise from 4:08 to 4:14. Order. So you're saying that the suspect was not in the printing room during the previously claimed interval? Not only that, but the defendant was actually on the move while the witness was in the hall. So how is it possible that the witness didn't see or hear her movements on that day? Good point. That's a good point, Yusana. If I had to guess, maybe she was still on the other side of the hallway at the time? That's entirely likely. Judging from the camera records, it took the defendant 6 entire minutes to walk around the corridors. At that speed, the defendant's footsteps wouldn't be very audible, even with the amplification of the hallway's walls and floors. And what about the entry at 4:11? Someone passed the club room moving southward. If we take a look at this map provided to us by our defendant, you'll notice the south of the club room is the restroom and the practice room, where the witness claims that she was standing at the time. Well, defense, what do you make of this discrepancy? Honestly, it's hard to say. How could you two not have seen Karin-san or the person coming towards you at 4:11? Witness, you're not lying to us, are you? No, I would never. Then how do you explain why you two never encountered anyone else in the hallways? There's got to be an explanation for this. Oh yeah, I think I know why. So you know how I kept saying 4:11? I think that might be wrong. Maybe we actually left earlier than 4:11. Is that how it is? Then why'd you say 4:11? To be honest, I don't know exactly what time it was. I just thought Ai-san was telling the truth yesterday, and I was parodying it. Anyway, my point is I think Ai-san was the one who lied. I would never lie on the stand. I'm Setsuna Yukio, warrior of justice. Truth is my blood and flesh. Well, you heard it here. Setsuna-chan and Ai-chan must have left some time earlier, meaning that they could have had the chance to go to the printing room before 4:10. Hang on, how do you rule out the alternate possibility? What if the witness and her associate actually entered the hallways after this mysterious 4:11 person passed by? I'm saying that Miyashita Ai-san and Yuki Setsuna-san may have left the practice room at 4:12 or later. Then there would be no issue. I need to prove that Setsuna-chan and Ai-chan couldn't have left the practice room at 4:12 or later. Can I even do that? The evidence will prove my point. Here's why Setsuna-chan and Ai-chan must have left earlier and not later than previously thought. Oh crap! I gotta think about this and to look through my options.
20 minutes later.
The photo of Hanpen has to be right because it was taken at 4:12. So, present. This is a photo of Rina-chan's cat's handpen. It was taken at 4:12 p.m. What a cute photo, and what a fluffy little kitty. But what does this have to do with the timing of things, I wonder? I'm glad you asked. You see, handpen has a habit of avoiding Setsuna-chan whenever they're able to. Witness, is this true? No way! I mean, maybe? Harasho. The point is that since handpen always avoids Setsuna-chan, there's no way they would have been in the practice room if Setsuna left any later than established. You know what that means? It means Setsuna-chan and Ai-chan must have left earlier than 4:10. Way to go, a brilliant deduction. That must be what actually happened. So what now? There's only one thing to do now. We call Ai-chan up and get her back on the witness stand. Prosecution, do you have any objections? No, Your Honor. I'm just as curious to see where this goes as anyone else. I agree. Let's change the witness out for Miyashita Aya. Actually, Your Honor, there's this thing we do where we put two witnesses up at once. Huh? Actually, that sounds like a neat idea. It could be a groundbreaking new development. Anyway, enough of that discussion. Let's bring the witness in. Oh, I looks nervous. Miyashita Ai-san, what's the matter with you? Stand up straight. Sorry, nothing's wrong. You were called in because evidence suggests that you and the other witness had actually left the practice room before 4:11, unlike what you said yesterday. Are you aware that the camera above your club room identified an unknown person headed towards your supposed location at 4:11 on the day of the crime? I must have gotten my times mixed up then. Give me a chance to explain myself, okay? It'll all make sense. So it shall be. Witness, please correct your former testimony. This is the opportunity I've been waiting for. It's all been building to this. I'm sorry, Ai-chan, but you're going down. Okay, now you're gonna make me hate myself, cause I do not want to do this to Ai-san. I know the crime is fake and not real, but still. Anyway, the true times. I might have mixed my times up. We actually left the practice room at maybe 4:07 or so. The rest is all true though, and neither of us ever went to the printing room. It just stuck to the halls. I don't know who could have wandered in front of the camera at 4:11. Maybe it was a bug? Or maybe it was someone from outside the club. Who knows? I see, so that explains why you never encountered anyone in the hallways. Your Honor, if I may, the prosecution's current belief is this. Another person from outside the club may have turned on and used the printer at 4:10 before the defendant got there. This random person then either left southbound, triggering the camera and leaving it that 4:11 entry, or in the other direction, meaning that the camera entry is a fluke. Then the defendant enters the printing room with the printer still on. That would explain how she was able to be outside it at 4:14. Either way, the witnesses had nothing to do with the crime. Does that sound reasonable, Miyashita Ai-san? Yep, Setsu can go now, right? No way, I'm here to make sure that everything goes smoothly. Oh, is that right? Of course, this is all in the name of justice. Ai-chan was sure eager to get Setsuna-chan off the stand. Why do you think that is? It's suspicious, not to mention. Ai-chan is saying that neither of them ever went towards the printing room, but that can't be, right? Goodness, Setsuna-chan hasn't countered Ai-chan's testimony. You don't think that they're both lying, right? I don't know, but we may need to figure out the how and a later point in time. For now, it's time for me to connect Ai-chan to this crime once and for all. I feel bad though. Don't do this to me. Anyway, I think the best choice is to press all of these and then go on from there. So you're not mistaken this time. 4:07 is your final answer? I know that sounds sus, but believe me, you just made an honest mistake. I must have been thinking of the price of the chocolate croissant at the dining hall of 410 yen, so I probably thought the time was closer to 4:10. It was just an unfortunate mistake, trust. Well, whatever you make of it, at least the time seems correct now. The rest is all true. Okay, let's press this one. Are you sure about that? You're not lying about this, are you? Not likely. I think I know where Setsu and I went on the day of the crime. Come on, do you? Would I lie about this? In fact, I think you would. Ooh, that's rough. I won't stand for any biased accusations against the witnesses. This line of questioning is pointless. Anyway, witness, let's hear the rest of your testimony. I don't know who could have entered. Oh, I read this already. Let me press. Bug, do you mean a glitch or an actual insect? Oh, good point, Yu. It could be either one. Maybe the camera glitched out and thought it saw something that wasn't actually there. That could be possible. Or a moth flew in front of the camera. Maybe that's what happened. It's a camera, not a light bulb. And then last statement to press on. And how are you so sure it wasn't someone from the club? Nobody else was out of the practice room at that point, right? Besides Karin and Shiuchi. I don't think that it could have been anyone from the club unless Miyachi or Lanzu came home earlier. Well, that is true. And I basically know for sure that Shiriko-chan was at Akihabara. Yu-chan, this could be it. This could be the chance you've been waiting for. I think so too. I've been trying to set Ai-chan up on the stand. It's probably my chance to strike. I should know what to present at this point. I better not screw it up. Knowing me, I will definitely screw this up. Sorry. I did not mean to press. I meant present evidence. Oh, man.
2 very boring minutes later.
Oh, wait. I forgot about the diamond from Ai-chan's idol outfit. It was in the printing room, if I remember correctly. Witness, start telling me the truth, and this time I mean you, Ai-chan. We found this tiny white diamond in the printing room yesterday. Does it look familiar? Wait, I think I recognize that white diamond. That's right, I heard it from Karin-san. This white diamond is from your idol outfit, Ai-chan. Order! Ai-chan, this white diamond tells us one thing. You went to the printing room at the time of the crime. It figures that the queen of the kangaroo court loves jumping so much so that she's even jumping to conclusions. Riddle me this. How do you know for sure that the diamond was dropped on the day of the crime? It's entirely possible that the diamond was dropped at a different time. How do you rule that out? Wait, I've solved this puzzle before. I just need to prove my point. In fact, I have the evidence. This is how I know that the diamond must have been dropped at the time of the crime. I don't know this. Oh yeah, I forgot. Karin's outfit. Sorry, Daya-san, but this white diamond isn't the only Daya getting dropped on the floor in this case. Huh? You know, 4 to 4:30 p.m. on the day of the crime was our practice break. The club members were practicing their idol activities. All the idols were in their idol outfits, Ai-chan included. After practice ended, everyone changed back into their normal clothes, and that's the last time they used their idol clothes. It's been a while since we last had a group practice session in the practice room. The diamond must have landed there recently. And so it's clear, Ai-chan went to the printing room during break for some undisclosed reason. But that can't be. Ai-san was with me the entire time. She never had the opportunity to. Setsu, it's fine. I can handle this. It's true. During that interval, Setsu and I stopped by the printing room. That is most certainly not true. We never went towards that side of the hallway. What are you talking about? Huh. Setsu, let me handle this. You can go if you want. Never! You're trying to conceal the truth. I won't have it. I didn't expect this to happen. The witnesses are contradicting each other? Well, what now, Yu-chan? One of them has to be lying. I don't know. Setsuna-chan seems more honest, but Ai's account of things lines up with my evidence. I hope Ai-chan's telling the truth for once, or I really wouldn't know where to go with this. There's only one thing to do now. You know what it is. I think there's only one way to solve this issue. Both of them should testify about what really happened. I agree. Perhaps we'll finally get to the bottom of this mystery. That's right. We'll see who's really telling the truth once and for... My, a bit slow on the uptake, are we? What? I've already figured out who is lying. No testimony required. And who would that be? Please look at this photo presented by Miyashita Ai-san yesterday. I would like you all to draw your attention to Miyashita Ai-san's top. There you can see a line of white diamonds. The white diamond presented by the defense was from this area here. And yet, at the time that this photo was taken, all the diamonds are still attached to her outfit. Ugh. No! I didn't even notice that in the photo. Anyway, order. Okay, now I'm confused. How is it possible that the white diamond was found in the printing room then? Ask the defense. She was the one who brought that piece of evidence into trial. I must mention, yesterday she brought up the possibility that the good Mifune Shioriko-sana was the one who printed the tickets herself. Her basis was the fact that she was the one who introduced the tickets to the trial. Explain yourself. Have you been taking notes? Am I dealing with a case of falsified evidence? I am at a loss now. Dayo-san just shot down my best piece of evidence. But that doesn't change the fact that the diamond was found in the printing room. And the last time Ai-san wore that outfit was on the day of the crime. Come on, Yu-chan, you've got to think. You've come this far. Dayo-san's accusing you of falsified evidence. This can't be how it ends, right? There has to be an explanation for all of this. I was so close to victory, but suddenly nothing makes sense. I don't believe it. So why is nothing adding up? I need to think about everything carefully all over again. Until now, we were under the impression that Ai-chan had entered the printing room at the time of the crime. That's what the presence of the white diamond suggested to us. But somehow that is not true, and Setsuna-chan's testimony seems to support that. If it wasn't dropped at the time of the crime, it must have been dropped either before or after the time of the crime. Yes, either it was dropped earlier and Ai-chan had it repaired, or it was somehow dropped there later. I can't just take a random guess though, I need to apply facts. Which event can I use to find out when Ai-chan's white diamond was really dropped in the printing room? Rina and Suzuku's investigations, Karin's trip to the potluck, Ai and Setsuna's trip to the restroom. Let's try the Rina and Suzuku investigation. Rina never found the diamond. That's it. Rina-chan, not to mention Suzuku-chan, investigated the printing room after the day of the crime. But when she did, she never found the white diamond. It was found by Shioriko-chan. There's no way Rina-chan would miss something like that. And even if she found it on the first day, there's no way she would have just left it lying there. That can only mean one thing. The white diamond was placed there 2 days after the crime. Now, that begs another question. If the diamond was placed there after the crime, who placed it there? It couldn't have been by accident. There was no reason for Ai-chan to have gotten in her idol outfit in the last 2 days. Dayo-san said that the diamond might be falsified evidence, and she's not wrong. Not by me, but someone must have wanted to frame Ai-chan for the crime. The question is, who would do such a thing? Dayo? Question mark? I don't think I would do this to herself. Okay, so Ai-chan did this to herself. I planted the diamond herself. I've got it. Ai-chan is the only one with the access to her own outfit. Did she plant it herself? No way. She'd be making herself more sus. It can't be. But it would explain why she's trying to keep Setsuna-chan off the stand right now. She knows Setsuna-chan will contradict her plan. After all, Setsuna-chan will surely testify that Ai-chan never had a chance to go to the printing room. So that's how it is. Ai-chan's trying to make herself look like the culprit. Now we've answered the when. We've answered the who. The only question now is why? Ai-chan, I know she's a caring person. She wants to do this for someone else. It's time to answer once and for all, who is she doing this for? It's Karin, because of the one conversation from that one flashback. Maybe Ai-chan and Karin-san had another discussion behind the scenes. Perhaps they're going back on their plan. No way, it wouldn't make any sense. If Ai-chan were the true culprit herself, she could have just confessed to it. This isn't the answer I'm looking for. I need to back up a bit. Now, It's time to answer once and for all. True culprit, I guess? Ayu's framing herself to protect the true culprit. That's it. After the first day of the trial, Isa knew she had to change tactics, or the true culprit would have been in danger of being found out. She had decided to shift the blame onto herself in order to spare the true culprit. And there's only one person she would go to that length for, and that is Karin-san, if I had to take a guess.
No, you ain't!
So that's the truth of the matter. Your Honor, the defense has an explanation for the situation that should clear up all contradictions. Do you now? Let's hear this little theory of yours. Yu-chan, you figured it out? I think I have. This whole time, Ai-chan's been manipulating our route of thinking and the evidence to throw us off. We fell into her trap. No way, she couldn't have. The defense believes that the true culprit was neither Karin-san or Ai-chan. There was a third party involved in this case. It seems that the diamond was planted there by Ai-chan herself to distract us from the influence of the real culprit. You don't! So that's how it is. This whole time, she had pulled off the crime on her own. In that case, who do you suppose this real culprit is? There's only one person the real culprit could be. It's none other than... Wait, back the fuck up for a sec. Who's the true culprit then? Cause Ai-chan is doing this to herself, so it can't be her. Someone planted it there, I don't know who. It can't be Shiriko, she was an Akihabara. Okay, I failed so bad, I had to reload her. But anyway, the only person I haven't tried besides Ayumu and you is Rina. The true culprit is Tennoji Rina. She's the only person Ai-chan would protect so desperately. Tennoji Rina-san, the detective? You're out of your mind. We have clearly established that Tennoji Rina-san had left the practice room after Yuki Setsuna and Miyashita Ai-san did. There would have been no time for her to commit the crime. Your theory is dead on arrival. Not so fast. Don't forget whose word we have on the time that Rina-chan left the practice room. After all, it was Ai-chan who told us that, and she's already given incorrect info on the stand twice now. And how do you intend to prove your point? Do you have evidence to suggest that Tennoji Rina-san actually left earlier than usual? Or perhaps, do you have evidence to suggest that Tennoji Rina-san ever went towards the printing room? How do you intend to substantiate your claims? I've still got a trustworthy ally on the stand, you know. Warrior of Justice, are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. Tell me what you need. There's only one thing we left unanswered from yesterday, isn't there? That's right, we never answered how you knew when Rina-chan entered the restroom. Oh, you're right. Boy, do I have a grand story for you. We're jumping around a bit, but the defense requests that you would testify about the grand story you've got. Prosecution, are you okay with this bit of questioning? I have no qualms with it. Testify away. At last, everything is starting to fall into place. Rina popping in. We were taking photos on my crappy flip phone at the time, okay? That's when I heard it. Rina-san's footsteps were coming from the doorway. I turned around and there she was, just like Ai-san said yesterday, except it was me who saw her. So yeah, we invited her over and took that second photo on Ai-san's phone right after. To be honest, I don't see how this changes anything. I agree. I would say that this entire endeavor was a colossal waste of time, but I'm looking forward to seeing the pathetic yet entertaining spectacle of the defense floundering about like a headless chicken. You couldn't even say floundering around like a headless fish. Yu-chan, can you find anything to use as ammunition in here? It doesn't look like there's anything really notable to point out. I don't know, but I've got to try. This is where I can make a breakthrough. I'd better not waste it. You've got this. You can do it. Okay, cross-examination, Rina popping in. I'll just press everything. You showed me a photo taken on your phone yesterday. Is that when Rina-chan entered the room? That's right, but we're not talking about that photo right now. We're talking about what I personally witnessed on my own. I'm sorry, what's this about a flip phone? People still use those? Well, I broke my phone last week trying to do a special move. I accidentally yeeted it off the side of the roof. Don't laugh, okay? Don't worry, I won't. I sure will. Alright, press the second statement. Can you describe what you heard? Describe it? They're just footsteps. What am I supposed to say? Well, if you must know, it was like a clack-clack or something like that. Clack-clack? Yeah, that's what I heard. What else am I supposed to say? She seems confident in her testimony. I don't think it's wrong. What was she doing at that time? Not much, just standing there, menacingly. I don't know how long she was standing there for, though. Looks like she's been waiting a while. Actually, since I heard her walking in just before, it must have only been a short time. My mistake. That's an odd reaction, but I don't think I have enough on it for me to call out either. Alright, last statement. That's the one I-chan showed in court yesterday, right? The one with you, Rina-chan, and I-chan in a row? Sure was. And there's a timestamp on that too, at 4:15 p.m. Based on that, I deduce that Rina-chan must have entered at 4:14 or so. And there's no need to worry about Karin-san bumping into her either. Karin-san was just going north at the time, but Rina-san was coming in towards the east. That seems to make sense. If this is all correct, they would both have been going counterclockwise and wouldn't have bumped into each other. I know Setsuna-chan wants to help, but her testimony doesn't give us much to work with. Yeah, looks like I'll have to try to get as much info out of her as possible. It doesn't feel like she'd lie about anything either. I'll have to catch her on being mistaken. Whatever the case, I'm still glad Setsuna-chan cares so much to set things right. That's an I-chan pun for you.
20 minutes later.
Oh, I-chan did a reaction. I didn't notice that the first time. But anyway, I-chan, did you have anything to add to that? Oh, sorry. It's just that Setsuwa, that's wrong, isn't it? Clack, clack, clack. What's wrong with clack, clack, clack? Well, Rina wears sneakers, you know. Her shoes don't go clack, clack, clack. That's true. When she walked up to us yesterday, it was more of a clomping sound. Well, obviously I know that, but you're forgetting that we weren't in our normal clothes at the time. We were in our idol outfits. She was in a different outfit. Most of our idol outfits come from some sort of footwear with prominent heels. So clack, clack, clack is my final answer. There you go. Even I-chan seems lost with this one. I don't think she considered this in part of her plan. Either way, it's a start. Let's hope this gets us somewhere. Witness, please modify your testimony. Right away, Chief. Okay, so we got a new statement to press, which I think is this one. So the clack 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 was because she was wearing her idol outfit? That's right, I know Rina-san usually wears sneakers, that makes more of a clomping sound. But don't forget, we were all in her idol outfits at the time, she wasn't in her usual wear. Haven't heard Rina-chan's footsteps ourselves. Her assessment of the situation seems fair. Okay, so what am I supposed to do now? I don't understand.
5 minutes later.
Oh yeah, I think we have to present Rina-chan's outfit because it's not the clack 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 sound, it's more of a clomping sound. So we'll present. Witness, what you're saying could not have happened. I swear I'm not lying. But take a look at Rina-chan's idol outfit and the various parts of it. In particular, I want you to notice the shoes. Hey, she's got sneakers in her idol outfit. That's right, what you heard wasn't Rina-chan at all. But how could that be? I know I heard a clack sound. Actually, I might be able to explain that. The clack that Setsuna-chan heard in the restroom was actually this. It's gotta be Karin. Her idol outfit has heels. Let's think about this for a sec. Both I-chan and Setsuna-chan were already in the restroom, so it couldn't have been them. Rina-chan has sneakers on her. They would have made a different sound entirely. However, we do know one person who was wandering the halls at this time in her all high-heeled glory. Could it have been the defendant, Asaka Karin? That's right, Karin-san's idol outfit contains a pair of silhouettes. Shoes like these would doubtlessly be very clackier, would they not? And how do you know that it must be the defendant? What if it was the person at 411? We still haven't ruled out the possibility of that being a random person. If you're so sure that it was the defendant, why don't you provide some evidence to show that it wasn't a random person who walked by you? That isn't my job. Why don't you provide some evidence to show that it was some random person who walked by you? Besides, if the 411 person was what Setsuna-chan heard, that means that Rina-chan must have entered the restroom even earlier than 411. That would mean that between 411 and 415, all the time is unaccounted for. Well, is it your turn to explain some unaccounted for time? Ugh. Yeah! Hang on, so what's really going on here? When did Tenoji Rina enter the restroom? Your Honor, the defense believes that Rina-chan may have entered the restroom earlier than expected. She must have entered before Karin-san passed by at around 4:14. That means she was just standing around for a minute or two, as if she was waiting to be noticed. Waiting to be noticed? You don't even think this was part of Rina-chan and Ai-chan's plan, was it? I think I understand. Ai-chan and Rina-chan's original plan was to bring Setsuna-chan to the restroom to create a witness. That's why Ai-chan asked Setsuna-chan to go with her. With Setsuna-chan in the restroom, she was another person who could validate Rina-chan's alibi. But that's crazy, nobody's that prepared. She was standing around waiting for me to notice her. That's preposterous. But none of that matters. I know Rina-chan never went towards the printing room. Look here, I even got a photo that I happened to snap at the time Rina-san entered the restroom. That must be Setsuna-chan's potato camera photo. I knew that would come up again eventually. I'm sorry, I wasn't aware that there was another photo involved in this case. I never showed it before, but it's finally time to let my arrow of truth fly. Be free, photo of righteousness. Well, just so we're on the same page, please testify about this photo that you took. Roger, here we go. The truth shall prevail. We're getting close. If I can just break Setsuna's testimony here, we can get Rina-chan on the stand. I'm sorry, Ai-chan, but whether you like it or not, I will get Rina-chan to testify today. My awesome photo. First off, sorry about the bad quality. I took this on an ancient flip phone from centuries ago. Anyway, this photo was taken by complete accident at the time Rina-chan entered the restroom. We didn't even notice her in the frame when we took this photo. As you can see, she's heading in from the left side, which is in the direction of the practice room. That means she went directly from the practice room to the restroom. No other way to interpret it. I see, that does seem to be what the photo shows. Defense, you seem eager to cross-examine. I won't keep you waiting then. Thank you, Your Honor. You two have been up here long enough. It's time to get the true culprit to testify. By accident? Yeah, we were just loafing around taking photos. It wasn't until way later that we realized that Rina-san made a little cameo in this photo. Isn't that lucky? Now we've got some real evidence showing where Rina-san came from. Lucky for Daya-san, maybe not so much for me. What if Rina-chan actually came in from the right, but accidentally walked past the door at first, so she ended up coming in from the left? Come on, you son, who the heck misses a door? Let's be realistic here. What are the odds of that happening? If you ask me, the most natural solution is that she just went straight from the practice room to the restroom. I still think Rina-chan could have walked past the door on purpose to make it look like she was coming in from the left, but I don't think I have the evidence. Then again, if Setsuna-chan really did take the picture by accident, that may not even have been in the plan. Wouldn't Rina-chan have bumped into that 411 person or no? I don't know, did you ever ask her if she did? Rats, we never got the chance to ask Rina-chan if she saw anyone in the halls. If she came out sometime after 4:11, then she never would have bumped into anyone, right? I know Karin-san was walking around after that, but she would have been moving away from the practice room. So basically, Rina-chan must have been walking behind Karin-san, if at all. That explains why Karin-san never saw her. That makes too much sense. I can feel it. You're just centimeters away from the breakthrough. Keep up your offensive. I sure hope you're right. I'm honestly kind of tired of cross-examining Ai-chan and Setsuna-chan. Yeah, me too. Well, come on. Think outside the box if you need to. It's the moment of truth, literally. Okay, do I present the photo from Setsuna's camera here? I guess so. Setsuna-san, are you sure you never noticed Rina-chan come in? Of course, like I said, the photo was a happy accident. But that can't be right. Let's look at your photo again. In this photo, we can see Rina-chan heading in through the doorway. Yeah, that's what I said, right? But in your testimony, you said you didn't notice Rina-chan in the photo until long after you took it. My question is, how could you not have noticed Rina-chan if she's front and center in this photo? Order! Setsuna-chan, explain, how does this photo exist? Nothing about it makes sense. Oh yeah, don't worry, there's a perfectly rational and reasonable explanation for this. You see, this isn't the full photo, it's just a tiny corner from a much bigger picture. So Rina-san coming in is actually far in the background. There's more to this photo? Setsuna-chan, the defense requests that you show the full photo to the court. There's no need, right? This is the most relevant part. Don't worry, I didn't cut out anything important. This is all you need to see. Yeah, I've seen the full photo too. The rest of the image won't change anything. Ai-chan's trying to hide it as well. Could there be something in the full photo? Setsuna-san, you're an advocate of truth, aren't you? Why are you trying to hide the rest of the picture? Well, the rest of the photo is embarrassing, okay? Embarrassing? That's enough. Witness, please present the entire photo to the court. Okay, but don't laugh. Oh no. That's the photo? That's not bad. What are you doing in this photo? She appears to be performing the dance known as the dab.
Bruh.
Okay, yeah, now I understand why it's embarrassing now. The only reason I know that is because Ruby and her little friends do that as well. It's nonsensical. I am not dabbing in this picture, I just had a sneeze, that's all. Well, I have to admit, the full photo doesn't really seem to provide us any new info. That's what I was trying to tell you, but none of you would listen. You guys are so mean. Well, I better add this to my court record anyway. Maybe there's some hidden meaning to it. Setsuna's photo updated in the court record. Witness, please proceed with your testimony. Wait a sec, hang on. I think this is taken in front of a mirror, so this is mirrored. So, Rina-chan will be entering from the right side. I didn't think about that until I looked at the photo again. But anyway, I got it. Sorry, Setsuna-chan and Ai-chan, but this photo shows the exact opposite of what you're saying. Huh? The exact opposite? Let's take a look at this photo one last time. I just looked. We don't need to clarify anymore, but okay. Notice how Ai-chan is taking a photo with the phone's outer cam, and the cell phone itself is in the shot? There's only one way a camera can take a picture of itself, and that's if it's taking a picture through a mirror. That's right, so in reality, the picture should look more like this. And with this, everything changes. Tanoji Rina is now coming in from the right. No! So that's why Ai-chan was trying to hide this photo. It appears so. She knew that this photo would give away Rina-chan's movements, but couldn't do anything about it because it was on Setsuna-chan's phone instead of hers. Not to mention it, this is probably why she didn't want Setsuna-chan to testify both yesterday and today. So it seems that Tanoji Rina-san didn't actually come directly from the practice room. That's right, do you have some issue with this evidence? Not at all, keep going. Alright, even Daya-san can't deny this outcome. There's no denying Rina-chan's involvement in this crime. Your Honor, I think it's clear that we need Rina-chan to testify. Based on the evidence presented in court, Rina-chan has come from the direction of the printing room for an unknown reason. The defense believes that we have a reason to suspect that Rina-chan has something to do with the crime. The court agrees that we will take a 15-minute recess and reconvene for the testimony of Tennoji Rina. Understood, Your Honor. Can I buy your gavel after I win? Isn't it great, Aisana? The beautiful free butterfly of truth is about to be hatched from its chrysalis, and we've got front row seats to its birth. Yeah. Today, justice will prevail. I can't wait to see the outcome of the trial. At last, it's almost time. It's been a long battle, but I'm going to finish this once and for all. That's all for now. Das of Dania? I don't know how to pronounce that, but I guess it means court is adjourned in Russian. Episode 2, Invitation to the Turnabout, to be continued again. Wow. Long episode. Yes, please, save. I don't know what file to overwrite. I guess it doesn't matter. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna leave this part here. Oh my god, so much reading. Sorry it took me a while to get through the first half of the trial. I haven't recorded this in quite a while, so I kinda didn't remember what happened. But yay, we're almost done with this episode, I hope, because I feel like we've been on episode 2 for ages now. But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I can't wait to see what happens in the next half of the trial, and I guess I will see you all next time in another Gyakuten live video, or whatever I'm making next. Goodbye for now.